One of the most hot-button issues for gamers is cheaters. And I'm not talking about people who cheat in single-player games. I mean like in Fortnite or DayZ or something that's been popular with a lot of people. Obviously, there's a lot of effort that goes into attempting to stop cheaters to keep gaming experiences, well, fun. But how is it done? Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx we ask the question, what tricks do games use to identify cheaters? Well, quick answer is a lot, and they're constantly coming up with new ones. But first, let's talk about why cheating can be such a problem. Cheaters don't exactly broadcast the idea that they're cheating. Obviously, there are some cheats that are pure spectacle and cause everybody to know that they're cheating. It's intentional, it's a type of trolling, it's obvious. But the reason why it's so hard to stop is because it's truly a lucrative business. People who make and sell cheats who do it for the public, say, maybe they sell like a cheat for a couple $100 a month, which they then support as if it is a piece of regular software, and people who do that can make tens of thousands of dollars a month. There are estimates that there's people who legitimately make in excess of $1.5 million a year, which provides a lot of incentive to continually find new ways to circumvent cheating. One of the more well-known methods of cheating is aimbots, but there's also things like speed hacks, item magnets, mods that reveal certain types of information like exactly where other players are on the map, even through walls, and even all the way up to, say, server crashes, which a cheating player might use to end a match before whatever happened in the match became permanent. I don't know. Usually cheats are done by something like a memory manipulation or an injection of new code into the RAM, which then transfers different commands to the server and so on and so forth. This can be done through drivers, it can be done with custom firmware, there's actually hardware, not unlike what Game Genie used to be on the old consoles. But you might be surprised to learn that developers nowadays don't just specifically try to detect cheats and ban the players. I mean, that sounds like a very straightforward process, but it's not necessarily, because cheats aren't necessarily stoppable. While a computer can learn to detect what one might call strange activity, which we will talk about in a little while, a lot of anti-cheat measures have nothing to do with that. In a lot of cases, it has to do with, believe it or not, snitches. And I know the whole snitches get stitches thing, but gaming is a little bit different. It's not really actually high stakes, it's just ruining people's enjoyment for no real reason. And when people do that, it's kind of shitty. So what you might find particularly weird, though, teams like the DayZ team spent a large amount of their time infiltrating message boards where cheats are propagated. Now, to understand that cheats may be propagated on a public forum that has tens of thousands of people on it, or an entirely private one that has less than 10 people on it, truly paints this as a daunting task. To try to find information about cheats on all of these various message boards is time-consuming and involves building trust, making friends, and ultimately being a liar. Often information is gleaned from these, and changes are made in the game or in cheat detection engines that are run like VAC. It's not just game developers themselves, it's Valve who has to run the VAC system, who does all of these types of things. But that information is usually used to create things like bans of users when it's found that somebody buys something, because purchases are often made person to person directly, usernames are often similar, and also cheats are actually acquired by the actual people who are wanting to stop cheats to reverse engineer the cheats and do stuff like that. But even without having specifics, there are certain things they can do, like only use DLLs. That's a dynamic link library, which is simply a library of information. They're not directly executable, but they're actually quite a bit like an executable. And if you only use ones that were created specifically for the game by the developers, it reduces a lot of these types of things, but not all of it. There's ways around that, because there's ways around everything. But getting into the more machine-oriented detection I mentioned earlier, if you have something that runs on the client side, meaning the gamer's computer, that is able to detect certain patterns, for instance, names, or is designed to recognize specific scripts, or even just outright works like a virus scanner, memory scanning and file scanning, obviously specific files and looking for specific things, but ultimately the data that gets sent to the server is at least often scrubbed to some degree to make sure that it is, legit. The servers often act as a pretty harsh authority in the matter as well, having very strict rules as to what types of responses to certain actions can even be sent. And that again reduces the amount of cheating that can be done. And again, granted, reduces is really the goal. There's no such thing as software that isn't hackable. It just doesn't exist and will never exist, because as long as people know how software works, it will be able to be hacked. But you can do things that make it not worth the time to hack it. That includes all of the machine stuff we talked about, and even more recently has dipped into machine learning and deep learning. Valve, for instance, has a process in which humans are consulted on various situations to see if there is cheating, and actual humans are asked if this looks like cheating. As those humans answer that question, deep learning detects the patterns in what is identified as cheating and attempts to create algorithms that are able to detect that cheating. Now, that's a specific process from Valve, part of a program called Overwatch, which has existed before the game Overwatch, so don't think that it's some sort of competitive name or anything like that, but there's more than a few different processes that are used for this sort of thing. Again, there's often other things done, like more psychological manipulation type things, like faking detections of cheats with people they think could be cheating and seeing what they do about it, delaying a ban for that, or even for other reasons, just allowing people to expose themselves as a constant user of a cheat software, meaning as they continue to use the cheat software, more information will be generated on how that cheat software is used. And then again, there are things that can be done that can just waste time for the creator of the cheat that will ultimately cause them to continue to work on things that mean nothing. Pretty much with any one of these methods, whether it's human detection, machine detection, or just simple matching of pieces of data, analyzing patterns, you have to have good customer support in place in order to, deal with that. And most developers do have some process for handling a false positive, which is good. So if you ever get one, please don't feel as though they're just targeting you or anything. Just contact customer support. Now, understanding that so much is actually done on cheating leaves the question to be asked, why is there so much cheating? But the fact of the matter is that it costs time and money, and the solution hasn't really been solved to a satisfactory degree yet. It's reasonable to assume that sometime in the near future it will be, but for right now, there's a very large amount of effort going into it, and now you know a little bit about what exactly that effort entails. What are some experiences that you've had with cheaters, and was it handled? Let us know, tell us what you think, and if you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now is of course a good time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is a subscription, so click the subscribe button, and more importantly, don't forget to click the alarm bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.